Today, I'm travelling by train for 80 hours from London 2,500 miles north to Lapland in the Arctic Circle. Join me crossing 8 countries over the next 4 days on sleeper trains by night, high-speed rail by day, and even first class on a Nordic ferry. Come along on this adventure starting in London at 5 AM. Well, hello there and welcome back to the channel. It's far too early, but let's head over and check in. I'm on the very first train of the day this morning at London's historic St Pancras station, built back in 1868 by Midland Railways to connect its ever-expanding footprint across the Midlands and the north of England. It's remained an iconic landmark of the city, though today it's an international station, providing connectivity to continental Europe by means of the Eurostar. Tickets-wise, these can be printed here, or downloaded to your phone, and given I've the latter, let's head straight over to the Business Premier channel and swipe in with my QR code. Just like an airport, there's a brief security check, which we go through in a breeze, followed by passport control, the first of many borders on this trip. We have a few minutes before boarding, so time for a brief visit to the Eurostar Premier Lounge. Clearly, this is the place to be at 5:30 AM, with only a few seats free. In addition, there's coffee on offer, of which I oblige, and pastries, of which I pass for now. It's time to join the growing stampede of continental-bound passengers, where it appears there's 2 trains departing within minutes of each other. Should we get on board and kick off the first leg of this mammoth journey? I'm booked into coach 15, which features 36 seats in a 2-1 configuration. After stowing my carry-on, let's settle into my seat 54. Well, you'll never guess who I've run into.
Morning.
Welcome back to the channel, Dad.
Morning.
Bit early, isn't it?
Very.
As if by clockwork at 6:01, we begin our trundle out of St Pancras station. So, where are we going first? We'll head some 305 miles under the English Channel and into France, arriving into Paris in about 2 hours' time. First order of business is breakfast. The croissant is frankly an embarrassment, however the hot offering of an omelette is half decent. It's at this point we begin to enter the Channel Tunnel, our portal to mainland Europe. It takes around 30 minutes for us to pop out into the French countryside. As we enter the confines of Gare du Nord in Paris, and prepare to step onto French soil, we can tick off France out of the 8 countries we'll be passing through on our way to Lapland. Well, I'm very happy to welcome you to Paris. Although we're not here for that long, in fact we need to head over to our next train, which leaves from another station. This will mean hopping on the RER, which is a regional express train, and will take us around 7 minutes to reach Gare de Lyon, some 3 miles south. Dad, welcome to Gare de Lyon.
Thank you.
Do you know where we're going?
No.
Well, I'll keep you guessing, but I think first of all, should we get a croissant?
Oh, yes, please.
Gare de Lyon is another historic station, opened in 1849. Growing in capacity over the years, the station now serves multiple international destinations to Italy, Spain, and of course Switzerland. It's also home to perhaps the world's most impressive railway restaurant, Le Train Bleu. Oh, I wish we had the time to dine here. Instead, we'll have to make do with some sandwiches to have on the train, and of course the all-important Parisian croissant, before heading over to our platform 13. E-tickets again at the ready, as we get first sight of our high-speed TGV train, ready to whisk us to yet another country. I've booked us into first class on this segment, with seats located on the upper level of this double-decker train. I've selected seats 84 and 83, which are closer to what you'd find on a US domestic first class flight, which is very impressive. It's not long before we glide out of Gare de Lyon, bound for our next country. So where exactly are we going? Counterintuitively, we're actually travelling southeast, some 400 miles to Zurich, Switzerland. There is a method in this madness though, and all will become clear in due course. Perhaps most staggering about these high-speed trains is indeed how fast they travel, at times a shy under 200 miles an hour. I make it lunchtime, and for convenience we'll enjoy our pre-purchased sandwiches from the station. I've gone for a chicken shawarma wrap, which I must add is delicious. Apparently there are food and beverage services on board, so let's go and investigate. So the cafe car takes up the entire upper level of one TGV carriage. It's a modern and well-designed space with a reasonable F&B selection, of which we're indulging in a French beer, given it's kind of an acceptable time now. Well, would you look at that, not only has darkness fallen, but we're arriving into our third country of the trip.
Welcome to Switzerland.
Yes, welcome to Zurich. That was quite a long train ride, wasn't it?
It was very long.
But you'll be happy to know we're going to go on another one in just a minute.
Oh, goody.
Yes, tonight's sleeper train is coming right up. However, we do have some time to wander the station's Christmas market, and indeed head out to explore more of Zurich. In our limited time here this evening, I thought nothing could be more fitting than to indulge in traditional Swiss cuisine. Of course, cheese fondue. I love how much of an event it is, whereby melted cheese and wine is served in a communal pot in front of us, enjoyed best with cubes of bread, potatoes, vegetables and meat. Unfortunately, our Swiss experience is short-lived, and we're back at the station ready to catch another train. Ticket at the ready, shall we head over to platform 13 as we await the imminent arrival of the night jet? Now, the reason I've chosen this detour to Switzerland in order to continue further north is to take this specific train which only operates this route. Dad is next door and we'll pick up with him when we get underway. But first, let's see my sleeping quarters. Oh, well, welcome to my new home. There are a total of 5 deluxe sleepers on the upper level of the train car, and I've picked room 11. It's pretty spacious for a sleeper, with amenities like bottled water, slippers, earplugs, small towel and sweets. It's at this moment our train lurches into life, as we start out the next phase of our journey to Lapland. So what exactly does this entail? Well, we'll head north all the way up through Germany to Hamburg, some 600 miles away, arriving tomorrow morning. As promised, shall we go and check on Dad?
Hello.
Oh, hello. How's it going?
Yeah, good, thank you.
How are you settling in?
Very well. I'm just doing my breakfast order.
Breakfast is provided free of charge by means of a checklist which you complete and hand back to your cabin attendant. This will be sent to our room in the morning. Your room's like the same as mine, just the other way around, and you've got bunks as well, interestingly.
Yeah, I've got a choice.
Well, Dad, I think that's that. I think I'll leave you to get some sleep.
Yeah, I need some.
Yeah, it's been quite the day, hasn't it? And, well, tomorrow, what's that going to bring? Let's see, shall we? As with many Euro sleepers, they lock only from the inside by means of this metal bar, which is a little convoluted but seems secure. Let's get the winter Tims booted off, and then get changed in the bathroom. It's practically designed, though small and a little grubby in places, but does the job I guess. NASA PJs on, it's time to try out that bed, and my goodness I need it, 5 AM starts are just not the one. Night all, catch you in the morning. I awake with a start thanks to a knock at the door. Breakfast is here. Shall we take a look at what I've chosen? Well, of course, a caffeine hit in form of filter coffee, alongside a fresh bread roll, salami and Gouda cheese. Given we're not far out from Hamburg, it's time to try that shower out. Welcome to Germany and good morning, Dad. How did you sleep?
Guten Morgen.
Yes.
Yeah, I slept really well.
I actually did as well, to be fair. Is it anything to do with our crazy itinerary?
Yeah, I was worn out yesterday.
Talking of which, we have quite a tight schedule here in Hamburg, so won't be able to explore, which is a shame. For reference, here is their fantastic Christmas market over by City Hall. Instead, we've transferred over to the central station, ready to hop on board our onward train. Thankfully, we've made our connection with just minutes to spare. We're in second class for this segment, though that's no hardship, as despite being old, German intercity carriages are more than adequate for a few hours. As we glide out of Hamburg station, where are we off to next? We'll head further north and into Denmark, arriving into Copenhagen some 200 miles later. As we settle in and Dad shares with me some of his interrailing stories back when he was younger, let's take a look around our carriage. There's space for 80 passengers here in a 2-2 layout. In terms of personal space, there's similar legroom to our TGV train yesterday, though the seat is not as wide. There's also a small bin at the seat, along with an airline-style fold-out table. I think it's time we explore the rest of our train. Unfortunately, there is no cafe car, so lunch will have to wait until Copenhagen. In the next carriage, there's a few second-class compartments. I did think about booking one of these, but unfortunately it showed no availability online. Last of note is the lavatory at the end of each train car, which is kept clean throughout our journey. It's not all that long before we arrive at the Danish border town of Padborg, marking our 5th country of the trip. Here there's actually border checks, and despite being in the EU, these have been reinstated temporarily. However, it's far more of a formality, and with just a quick glance from the border guards, we're back on the move again. This next section of rail takes us across a fascinating piece of Danish infrastructure, the Great Belt Fix Link, constructed in 1997 at a cost of 2.8 billion euros. It negates the use of ferries, which used to facilitate the crossing over to Zealand. Oh, and the suspension bridge section is only for cars. We'll instead use the glamorous but equally impressive railway tunnel for this section. Welcome to Copenhagen. We have about 2 hours between our connecting trains, therefore...
Should we grab some lunch?
I'm starving.
I am starving too. Let's head over to, I'm going to pronounce it wrong, Nyhavn?
Yes, I apologise. I believe it's Nyhavn, but please feel free to correct me. We'll drop our bags at these convenient luggage lockers, so useful when you have a layover like this. And now to head out into Copenhagen. It's a beautiful and walkable city, and somewhere I've spent a lot of time over the years. But our focus is on Nyhavn, to sample a Danish delicacy. Of course, what would a visit here be without trying smalbor, which is a traditional open-faced sandwich, and naturally I've gone for the beef. Back at the station, it's time to hop on our connecting regional train. This is our shortest train of the trip, and will take us the 20 or so miles across the water to Malmö in Sweden. It actually involves another engineering marvel, as we'll be using the Öresund Fixed Link to take us across. This consists of a 3-mile bridge combined with a 3-mile tunnel. Welcome to Sweden. We're connecting here in Malmö to our final train of the day. None other than a Swedish Railways tilting high-speed train. Ordinarily you'd be able to take these direct from Copenhagen, but this service has been suspended until next year. I've been able to book us into first class for this segment. Configuration wise, there's 48 seats in a 2-1 layout, and I've chosen 29 and 30 for us this evening. And just like that, we're off, but where exactly? We'll be travelling some 320 miles to Sweden's capital, Stockholm, in about 5 hours. Now, something we're relieved to discover is there's a bistro car, located further up the train. Thankfully, the selection is pretty good, and I think it's time we start thinking about dinner. To begin, and predictably, Dad and I start with a beer. For our meal, I've gone for a red Thai chicken curry, which doesn't quite look the best. Meanwhile, Dad opts for the vegan pasta bake. However, it turns out looks can be deceiving and the curry is really tasty. Let's head back to our first class carriage and perhaps shut my eyes for a moment or two.
Well, welcome to Stockholm.
Yes, welcome. It's been quite a crazy day of travel, hasn't it, Dad?
It's been a long one.
Feeling pretty tired out, we'll seek refuge in a hotel over in Stockholm's Old Town. Due to our crazy back-to-backs, we have to wait until tomorrow to catch the next leg of our journey, which I promise you is going to be even more exciting as we head deeper north. It will come as no surprise I'm always on the go, whether that's catching a train across Europe
Or back in sunny Dorset. Running a business on the move has been seamless thanks to Odoo.
an all-in-one management software providing entrepreneurs with a range of applications to simplify the day-to-day management of your business, including invoicing, accounting, website creation, and e-sign. The signature application allows you to send, sign, and approve documents online, and what's more, you can use this application for free with unlimited hosting and support. It's simple to use. Just select the fields of your choice, such as name, date, email, and signature. You can easily drag them anywhere in the document, make them mandatory or optional. To save time and be more productive, you can create your document templates and send them directly to the relevant individuals. Then track in real time the status of your documents, plus send auto reminders to recipients. You'll receive notifications as soon as they're signed. These can be accessed on any device and electronically signed in just a few clicks.
Go check out Odoo today, using my link in the description to get started for free.
Stockholm at this time of the year has about 6 hours of daylight, with the sun coming up around 9 AM. This means a whistle-stop round of sightseeing before we head to the pub for an early lunch. Dad has become quite the expert at finding these fantastic places to eat during our trips, and this is no exception. So as promised, the next leg. This involves something we've not done on the channel before.
Yes, as hinted at, in order to get over to Finland and indeed Lapland, we actually need to take this ferry across the water. So, should we go and check in and see what it's like?
It dawned on me when planning this trip, why not try out this connection for something totally new? In order to board, we'll first need to check in. These formalities will be undertaken upstairs, either at one of the kiosks or the machines. This will not only act as our ticket, but also our room key. Unlike a cruise ship, there's no security checkpoints, only a QR scanner for our tickets, and within moments we're heading up the gangway. Our vessel is the MS Silja Symphony, built in 1991 and standing at 660 foot in length. We're met by the impressive interior promenade, which not only plays host to Santa, but reminds me of Royal Caribbean's cruise ships, and I'm right to think this. In fact, this very ship was the inspiration for the Royal Caribbean Royal Promenade, first shown on board Voyager of the Seas in 1999. Okay, so now we're on a hybrid ferry cruise. What a turn up for the books. Should we go and find our cabin then? This is located all the way up on deck 11 forward, reachable by one of the many elevators. Now of course, given this ferry has an owner's suite, I'm hardly not going to see what that's like. There is after all only one of these available within the special Commodore class area.
Wow.
Wow.
Check this out.
Well, this is a little bit better than a Channel ferry of what I was comparing it to.
Yeah, just a bit. It's like a cruise.
It is really, isn't it? Should we take a look around?
And at a massive 805 square foot in size. Starting in the main living space, there's a comfy sofa and coffee table, an armchair looking out over the bow, and a dining table for 6. And quite unexpectedly, there's a bottle of champagne waiting for us as a welcome gift. There's even a wet bar complete with an espresso machine, and well-stocked mini fridge, all complimentary of course. Moving on, we get to the primary bedroom, boasting twin beds, and I guess a secondary living room with adjoining ensuite toilet. But the star of the show has got to be the bathroom, featuring a jacuzzi tub, separate shower, and wash basin furnished with molten brown amenities. Oh, and yes, a private sauna. We're notified of our imminent departure, so shall we head out on deck and see our sail away? Welcome to Deck 12, ironically also known as the Sun Deck. However, one of this deck's best features is being able to walk right under the navigational bridge. So where exactly are we heading? Well, in order to progress our trip northwards to Lapland, we'll need to head over to Helsinki, located some 500 miles and 18 hours away. I think it's fair to say we have some more exploring to do. Priorities of course are to get back into the warmth and then down in the glass elevator to the interior promenade. Like with Royal Caribbean, this is the life and soul of the ship, with most venues built around it. There's plenty of tax-free retail outlets, selling anything from Moomin merchandise to duty-free booze and perfume. There's also quite the selection of restaurants, from the Happy Lobster to sushi to a steakhouse. Firstly though, we'll be trying out the Old Port pub, located to the ship's aft. And no, I'm not going to split the G. Appropriately watered, we'll head to Bon Vivant. So this is the ship's fine dining restaurant, and so far it looks most impressive. Menu wise, we'll first up the wine list, and it has some particularly punchy champagne. So our food menu has 4 starters and a choice of 3 mains. Upon ordering with our waiter, we're presented with an amuse-bouche of spiced prawns. So, what have we gone for? Dad has the pike perch and peas, and I, the reindeer fillet of course. It's spectacular, tasting similar to venison. Dessert options are plentiful, and indeed mandatory for us it seems. I choose the chocolate cake, and Dad the apple and almond. In all a fab meal, though not exactly cheap. Back out on the promenade, things are livening up with some Christmas songs from some of the ship's musicians. We however have a show to attend in the theatre.
Welcome back to our suite. Dad, have you had a good evening?
Yeah, it's been brilliant.
It's been great, hasn't it? I honestly think it's been such a pleasant surprise. I didn't really know what to expect, but it's been far more like a cruise, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well, anyway, with that, and before it gets too rocky, it has started getting a bit choppy.
Yeah.
Let's get some rest.
Really the only thing missing so far from a cruise ship experience is the absence of towel animals on our beds. Anyhow, see you in the morning. Well, good morning from Finland. We've arrived into the capital Helsinki, and with it yet another tick on our country checklist. It's time to get shoreside and explore. Disembarkation is thankfully a relaxed affair, and far from the crowds you usually get when leaving a cruise ship. There's also no customs or border per se here, so within a few moments we're out of the terminal. I would wholeheartedly recommend taking this ferry. It's been a fantastic experience.
It's quite cold, isn't it, Dad?
It's very cold.
It's freezing. You can tell we're progressively getting further north. We're here for the afternoon, and then we're going to continue on yet another sleeper train.
A train?
Yes, indeed.
Oh, goody.
For a change.
Yeah, excellent.
With a few hours to spare, I think we'll get in the festive mood and experience the Christmas market. Perhaps also it's a chance to warm up with some fresh salmon soup.
Well, Dad, dusk has fallen, and we're back at what I believe is the train station. It can only mean one thing. Let's go and get on board our final sleeper train.
Let's find Santa.
The Santa Claus Express we're taking this evening leaves from Helsinki Central Station, which was built back in 1919. It's a beautiful building designed by Leo Saarinen. In fact, his son went on to design Dulles Airport and the TWA Flight Centre at JFK. It's a busy station with a mix of commuter, airport and sleeper train passengers. We're scheduled to leave in about 20 minutes, and as the train is already here, let's hot foot it to the platform and get on board. Our sleeper train features 8 of these VR class EDM carriages, with compartments over 2 levels. I've booked us into the upper deck, in a 2-berth cabin, which is the best accommodation available on board.
Welcome to our new home.
Yeah, it's quite compact.
It is indeed, but yeah, shall we take a proper look around?
There are 8 upper compartments per rail car, with ours being 209 and 210. It features bunk beds, which, like Amtrak, have straps to prevent you falling off during your sleep. By the window there's a small table with flip-down seat, and plenty of underbed storage for your luggage. It's at this point our train starts to glide out of the station, signifying our final push north. Our route will take us 600 miles through the Finnish countryside, all the way up to the Arctic Circle and the town of Rovaniemi, arriving tomorrow morning. Now we're on our way, I make it time to investigate our dinner options. En route to the dining car, we stumble across economy class, boasting 51 seats in a 2-2 config. They're comfortable enough for a few hours, with enough legroom to stretch out a little, though it's certainly not somewhere I'd rush to spend the night. Finally, we make it to the dedicated restaurant car, which is quite the welcome sight. Hot and cold dining options are available here, and it's among the best restaurant car food offerings out there. To eat, you can either prop yourself up on the bar-style seating, or instead nab a seat in the diner section. With our orders placed, we're asked to take a seat, as our food will be brought to us in due course. Dad has gone for the pesto pasta with smoked salmon, and I, well, the meatballs of course. These are delicious, though I'd say the ones yesterday in Sweden did win in comparison. Shall we head back to our compartment then? I've also sourced us another Swedish delicacy for a little pre-sleep treat, Marabou chocolate. I guess it's time to turn in for the night. This means booting the Timbs off, grabbing my NASA PJs, and heading into the ensuite bathroom to change. It's a compact but well-designed wet room with hidden shower facility, which I'll show you in the morning. Dad looks most comfortable in his bunk, wouldn't you say? Now I can't say it's the most dignified way to get into bed, but that's part of the fun on these sleeper trains. Anyway, I'll catch you all in the morning. Well, I slept wonderfully. I can't believe how smooth the ride is. It's got to be the most undisturbed night's sleep I've ever had on board a train. Looking out the window, it appears we're not far from Rovaniemi, though I'm keen to have a quick shower beforehand. I'm happy to confirm our arrival into Rovaniemi, and it's snowing. Welcome to Lapland.
We've arrived, yeah, it is bright and early. We've arrived in Rovaniemi.
Well, it's not bright.
Oh, it's certainly not bright, no, you're right. Well, there is some artificial lighting. Our journey's not quite over yet, though. Let me explain.
And yes, so to officially complete our trip to Lapland, and indeed the Arctic Circle, we'll need to travel a few more miles northwards. This means a brief transfer by road over to one of the most magical places, Santa Claus Village. Here we are then, time to officially cross the Arctic Circle, along with quite the surprise.
Oh, hello.
Welcome back to the channel, Millie, and indeed Mum. Before we discuss the cost for this epic adventure, there are several things we must try here in the far north. Most pertinently, visit Santa. Secondly, and as our 2 hours of daylight begins, I've arranged for us to go on skidoos. For our accommodation, I've booked us into these tree houses, located about 40 miles further north. As we make this journey, let's discuss cost. Now this was a pretty complex one to plan, but the breakdown is as shown, bringing the total cost to $4,900. And just like that, we've arrived at our final stop of the trip. I'm happy to report the tree houses are as shown online, but what are they like inside? Let me show you. At a shy over 300 square foot, they're spacious, boasting an ensuite bathroom and stunning main living space with a starlit ceiling.
Well, there we have it. What an adventure that was. Have you all had a good time?
It's been so good.
Hasn't it? Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you all again next time.
Bye.